Morning Facebook world. I just invited in our Facebook friends who needed to do this exercise in their bed this morning, and they are just as welcome and a part of what we're doing this morning as everyone else. And today I thought we'd talk a little bit about pacing. So there's this tendency when we've been tucked away to try to make up for lost time. We wasted the last year and a half. Now we all have to pick up the pace and make up for it. There's a tendency to want to justify the downtime. Well, I was creative and I did these other things and I did all this internal work and I did... We're okay. We are valued regardless of what you achieved or didn't. Regardless of what you will achieve or won't. Regardless of how long your list is and how many things you check off of it. And we now have an invitation to a new kind of pace. One that isn't every day, 20 hours a day, everything you can possibly do and fit on your list. And I think particularly women, because not only are we taught, and naturally the more nurturing, caregiving, juggling, make sure all the things happen, people in our families and households and circles, we're also talented. We're also boss ladies. So we're out in the world doing things, making things, and we have an opportunity to set a new pace. A pace that doesn't grind us down to nothing because you're too good for that. You are too important to be ground down to a nub just because you can. Of course you can. Of course you can do all the things. Of course you can manage your household and do the chores and mow the lawn and start the business, and of course you can. No one is questioning your ability. You're just too important to use all of you that way. Too valuable to use all of you that way. Use some of you that way, the world needs you. But make sure you're using some of you to fuel you. Somewhere along the way I got this message that the best way I could be a good and faithful human would be to pour out all of myself. There's nothing left. And I don't believe anymore that God wants that for me. I figured out somewhere along the way that God wants me to be joyful. What do you want for your children? You want them to be happy and alive and joyful and pouring into the things that you have seen as their gifts, pouring into love. What if you could spend all your time doing the things that felt like, yes, back to earth? We don't need to do all of our time that way. All of a sudden, the things that are on that list, populating your pie chart, calendar, you start to feel excited about those things, alive about those things. We've learned so many wonderful things about, how to present ourselves and how to manage our time and how to, perfect is a terrible word. Let's just set that one aside. Live into our most beautiful selves. Those are all good. I'm grateful for them, and every single one of you has been uniquely gifted by your Creator, who wants nothing more than to live into those gifts. So what's the pace we're going to set? Are we going to just get back into hustle land and neglect ourselves again? Like we do? The answer is yes, we are. We are. And hopefully also we're going to take the time to pivot little by little to make new patterns. We're going to make new patterns for the world. Did y'all hear when they talked about what's the most important trait in new leaders now? Do you remember what they said? Empathy. Nobody's better than that than women. Nobody's better at empathy than women. Sorry, any guys. We get to decide. We no longer have to live by their rules. We no longer have to hustle every day, do it, and have the companies ready. And we get to choose. We can set the pace. So let's set a pace that honors our gifts and what we have to give the world, and also honors ourselves, because we're valuable just because we are. And it's not even coming up yet. I'm going to bid our Facebook friends adieu, and then I have a couple more practices for us to connect and reflect, and hopefully we'll actually see a little bit of sunrise. But I want you to know it comes up even when we don't see it. Okay? Grace and peace, friends.